right, welcome to Paranormal Synergy. I'm your host, James.
And I'm John.
And we're going to be talking about urban legends.
Woo!
Woo! And we've both been doing a lot of reads. We've been looking at things in Maryland, Delaware, and even local in our area, Eastern Shore of Maryland. So I hope everybody had a great Christmas.
It was hard for us.
Yeah.
Mine
was pretty good, thanks to people like you, the neighbors.
You're
Yeah, I mean, everybody came together, and there was stuff under the tree, and it brought smiles to the kids' faces.
Well, as long as the kids were happy.
Yeah,
you know, that's what I was looking out for.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. So, I am gonna pull up my lovely little notepad. Here we go. So, I know one of the big legends that we've been hearing about. I never heard about. Apparently, everybody knows about it, but me. Is the Goat Man.
The Goat Man.
Goat Man
from Beltsville,
Maryland.
Beltsville. God.
Wow.
Yeah. So this came about in the early 70s.
Wow.
Ish. And apparently he is an axe wielding half man, half goat. So goat head, goat legs, upper torso of a man.
Wow.
Man arms. I don't know where these people come up with
right
stuff like that. But he's usually seen around the Fletchertown Road area at night.
So,
and apparently lives in the woods with a hermit. Or as a hermit.
I wonder if somebody comes and feeds him.
Just grazes on everything.
What's is he mean? I mean, what's his deal?
Doesn't really say much about the deal. Just that his first sightings were in the early 70s and then sporadic through the years.
So yeah, he was definitely an urban legend. I mean, it just sounds like somebody made the tale. It kind of took off and
right.
And there,
you know how it is.
Yeah.
Teens don't go out at night.
Yep.
The Goat Man will get you.
Goat Man will get you. You gotta scare them little bastards home.
Well, that's how they normally start.
Yeah.
I seen the Goat Man. You saw the Goat Man. He lives over there.
It's funny though because I was looking at another urban legend, and it was actually started in the 1700s in the far part of the West Maryland.
Okay.
And I think it was called the Scally Swagger or Scally. It doesn't really matter. But the thing was, it was like this lizard creature.
Right.
And the reason it started is because all the people who were in that part of Maryland at the time were actually German immigrants that came over. And they actually started that urban legend to keep their kids in the town and from and that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's like, hey, we're gonna scare them, and they got to stick around. Yeah.
Or early 70s being promiscuous.
Yeah.
Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah.
Scandalous.
What do you got?
Oh, I got all kinds of fun stuff.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I did want to brief over the Crybaby Bridge real quick, only because we did talk about that a little bit on our last episode. And it popped up when I was looking up the most, urban legends in Maryland. The funny thing to me is when I first heard about Crybaby Bridge, it was in Millington.
Right, the Millington Bridge.
And then when I Googled it last week or 2 weeks ago, I found, in South Carolina, I found it all over the place. Well, when I looked up in Maryland on the internet, the good old Googly, I found Crybaby Bridge most widespread in PG County, where the Patuxent River is. There's, of course, the Crybaby Bridge. And they also say that it's right in the middle of Goatman's territory, which I thought was kind of odd.
Good old Goatman again.
Good old Goatman. Goatman strikes. Sorry, guys. You got to deal with this. But here's an interesting one. This one I liked. So I think it's Gunpowder, Maryland.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah. And isn't that up north? Isn't that like Falston area?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay.
We used to go up there with the military, and that's where we there's a police gun range up there we used to use.
Okay. Well, they have a bridge. It's called the Jericho Covered Bridge. So it's actual covered bridge. It was constructed in 1865.
Ooh.
Okay. So what the legend is kind of surrounding is basically about these silhouettes and bodies that are hanging from the rafters.
Oh, I've heard this.
Yeah.
I have heard this.
Have you now?
Yeah.
Well, good. So you can correct me.
Well,
maybe. It says some believe that the ghosts are a horrific suicide pact, while others claim they are spirits lynched enslaved people.
that's what I heard.
Okay. That they were slaves. And
Right. And then if you drive at night, the car stops. And...
Yep. That's what they talk about when you go over it, your car stops. Kind of like Crybaby Bridge in a way.
Yeah.
You get that whole stall situation.
Right. But you hear voices, I think, and cries.
Yeah. You get ghostly women, doing their little wail. And, let's see here. Other have seen a ghostly woman crossing the bridge with a basket of fresh flowers, or a spirit of a young woman with a burnt face.
Burnt face.
Yeah.
Right.
The myths are strange and horrific creatures lurking around the bridge, in addition to ghost tales. One creature is described as a terrifying gray monkey. Wow, that's different. With a massive tail. There have also been reports of a hideous red-eyed demon guarding the bridge. Wow, so they go from bodies hanging from the rafters.
They go from one to extreme to
That's completely different.
That's
just quite crazy far-fetched to
yeah,
even believe.
it just gets out there. That sounds like one of those stories that just keeps evolving over the years.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not scaring them, let's make something new.
Well, it's probably to keep people away from the bridge.
Well, that too.
You know.
But the original story of the hanging is due to around slavery times of runaways being caught.
Gotcha.
And they would hang them
right
from the bridge, and that was a deterrent for other slaves to
not get
to leave.
So a pretty close one to home. Lunds Pond's not far away. Not really. Lunds Pond is Delaware, if you guys don't know. State park. It's home to a gorgeous lake, popular destination. Of course, people go kayaking, canoeing, all that good stuff. But in the story at Lunds Pond, we had a young girl run away from her Newcastle home sometime in the 1870s. She ended up hiding out in the woods near Lunds Pond State Park and ended up coming face to face with a dangerous man also camping in the woods. The man captured her, this sounds familiar, assaulted her, and murdered her. While authorities found the girl's body quickly, they never apprehended the killer. And now the girl's ghost, sometimes you hear at night, and she lingers in that area. Yeah.
It sounds like a serial killer.
Yeah. So a lot of those are what I'm finding local in our area.
Well, the one that's in Dorchester County that you sent me to look at, Big Liz and the Greenbrier Swamp.
Yeah.
So during the Civil War, Big Liz, a large woman, was a slave who became a spy for the Union troops. But her espionage was found out by her master, and he took her to the swamp, made her dig a hole for treasure, but decapitated her and buried her body in her own dug grave.
Oh, wow.
So now it's rumored, or not rumored. Come on, help me out here.
Yeah, like a legend. It's a legend.
Yeah,
It's
people
stuck
talk
around. People talk about it. Keeps it going.
Of seeing her at the edge of the swamp trying to lure people in.
Yeah.
Basically, probably either take her spot or get revenge.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I thought about too, obviously 1700s, 1800s, shoot, early 1900s and mid 1900s, we didn't have internet.
No. So everything was word of mouth.
Everything was word of the mouth. So, I mean, it's stories that traveled, and of course you get the whole
telephone.
The telephone effect. Or, this person said to this person said to this person.
Right.
By the end, all of a sudden it's a monkey who was dancing in the middle of a playground. And in the first story, it was just a kid that was playing.
Right.
Whatever. But, I just find with the internet now that things like this can either spread quicker. And there's really no fact checking. Like, there's no way to find out the origin story of anything. I mean, there are legends and urban legends for a reason.
Right. They're word of mouth until somebody writes them down.
Yeah.
But
you can investigate it and hope. But no.
That's like Mothman in Virginia.
Yeah.
And
now Mothman, that's more of an Indian legend, right?
No.
That's another one I don't know.
Came around in like the 50s, 60s time frame.
Okay.
Right when the bridge fell.
Okay.
Some say he's the reason that bridge fell.
Oh, okay.
Because they saw the creature with red eyes at the top of the
bridge
when it started to collapse. They said they'd find him flying next to cars,
Mm-hmm.
keeping pace with them, harassing them.
I think I did read about
People driving.
Because it was like a big
He
mothman.
was the size
Yeah.
of us with huge wings and red glowing eyes.
Nice. So I did find a pretty real local. I'm going to consider this really local to us.
I kind of like this one. This
Denton,
really
Maryland. Denton, Maryland actually has a home that was owned by a fellow. I believe his name was Mr. Taylor. Mr. Taylor owned this home. I have to look real quick just to try to get my... Yeah, Old Man Taylor. That's what they called him. Old Man Taylor. So Old Man Taylor, he did not like dogs. He didn't like the people in the area. And apparently the rumor, and this is going to sound familiar to a lot of you guys, is that he would go around the neighborhood threatening people to, keep their dogs away. And if they didn't, he would take care of them. And what he would do is he would poison the dogs and leave them in their yard. And Old Man Taylor, he passed away. When he passed away, of course, his house became for sale. And when his house became for sale, they had people looking at it. And the first thing that happened was when the people were looking at it, they would see glimpses of Old Man Taylor.
See, that's a deal breaker for me. Thanks.
Yeah.
You don't even own the home yet, and you already see the old bastard.
Yeah, that would be crazy, man. I'd be like, I'm interested maybe for a night, but not to own the damn house. But it's an old, there's a picture of the house right there, and I wish you guys could see it. And I was trying to find it. It's a
nice 3-story Victorian square.
It's actually a bed and breakfast now.
Oh, yeah, because the size of it. God, it's huge.
And apparently you can stay there. And like I said, it's in Denton, Maryland. It's Turnbridge Bed and Breakfast, I think is the name. So, if you guys want to book, say, hey, go ahead. If you want to try to get haunted, go for it. But yeah, I mean, that's another urban legend. I was just surprised to find one so close to home and in Denton.
Well, isn't it also there that if I read that people are still having problems with
people were still having problems with it. I don't know about the bed and breakfast. I haven't really looked into it. I do think they did say the owners, I know, was probably all the way down somewhere, that they have had unexplained experiences, but they haven't had like apparitions. So they probably had, I'm assuming, footsteps, knocks, things like that.
Oh, the usual.
The usual stuff that you will probably see in an older, Victorian style home that has paranormal activities. What may excite you? I've been looking at cameras, trying to get myself a late Christmas present. No. And I think I got one locked down, so I know I'm definitely going to be going out. And one of the first places I'm going to be going to is actually
your cemetery across where you live.
Yeah, you already knew it.
I knew where you
already knew it.
I knew.
It's going to be the cemetery in Still Pond there. Actually kind of visited the other day to see the logistics of the land, and I took Kristen with me. She's like, I don't want to be here. Like, you're going.
I'm sure she doesn't after what she saw the last time in there.
Yeah, well, that's why I brought her there. I wanted to get more of a pinpoint of where she saw the figure. And she said, well, this is the deal. She's like, it wasn't really in the cemetery. They're right to the right of the cemetery is a road, and there's old houses that have been torn down or fallen or whatever from just decay.
Right.
And that's where she saw the apparition is right there. And I'm like, well, that's right where the cemetery is. So this is perfect. I could go right on that road and, be in an area where I'm not really violating anybody or doing whatever. But
well, it doesn't
hurt anybody.
I don't think it's a violation if you're in the cemetery at night without permission.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, when I was talking to her, and this is again a belief, I was saying, I don't really think cemeteries are as haunted as, like, say, a home or a murder scene or whatever. I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying typically if I feel there's a haunting in a cemetery, it's probably more to do with something that the body was wearing.
Right.
An object.
There was an object that was on the body. And that usually happens. And you got to think, if we go back far enough, rich people would be buried with a bell.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know if a person was really dead or not.
Mm-hmm.
They'd bury them and people would be buried alive.
Yeah. Well,
so if they were buried alive, those
coins,
man, that's for the Riverman.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
They would have bells. If they were alive, they were buried alive. They'd ring the bell and people would dig them up.
Oh, you gotta hope to God somebody's there and they can hear really well.
Well, back used to have caretakers in graveyards.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yep.
So there was always somebody on site.
Oh, Billy dug himself up again. He's ringing the bell. Poor Billy. He's been buried 4 times. Shot 7 and buried 4.
Oh God.
Lucky Billy.
Lucky Billy.
Yeah, but it's like, I thought it was kind of cool because she was having a rough night and I wanted to do something fun. So it's actually kind of cool. I took her down to the beach, and you know how windy it's been lately.
Oh yeah.
So we literally went to the beach and it's like,
No.
We walked out and walked back in the car. I was like, I'm going to the cemetery. Then we scooted over to the cemetery and then drove around.
I don't think I would fly at my house.
No? Beach or cemetery?
Cemetery.
Oh, yeah.
Beach is always, that's not a big deal.
I think in, I believe it's Georgetown. It's either Georgetown or we'll see. It's that area. There is a cemetery that is known to be haunted. Yeah. Georgetown, you got Kitty Night.
Oh, okay.
Over the bridge,
Yeah,
you make the left, and there's a cemetery somewhere around there. I believe it's a Methodist church. But I was looking, I think it was last week, that they definitely have, unexplained events that happen there. And apparently it is on Maryland's top most haunted
places.
Yeah. I don't know who to get in touch with to talk about that, just because I want to make sure everything's copacetic. Because stories I was hearing from there is you see, it's the most common one you hear, but a woman in white, walking, they're perusing through the cemetery. That's the one that you hear the most. And then another one is there's a specific grave, there's a name on it, that if apparently you hold your ear to it, you could hear noises and stuff. I was like, well, that would be...
I don't know if I'd want to put my ear to a gravestone.
No, but again, this is how stuff starts, like urban legends.
Right.
This is how things start. People get the hearsay and then you choose what to take from it. If you completely shut yourself down from the hearsay, then you don't get the urban legends. You just get...
Well, not only that, those that are gullible enough to do it would believe it. And then mentally they're like, I did hear something.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure, Tawny? Are you sure you heard that? Yes, I'm sure. Okay.
Well, now we can talk about it. I mean, it's like, okay, when you're a kid, what's the most famous urban legend in Maryland that you hear? When you're a kid, they got books written about it. Sea monster. Chessie.
Oh, God.
Chessie's like the most common urban legend ever.
Now, see, here's what's weird. You say that,
mm-hmm.
and I was thinking about it, and I, was doing my perusing too, and it's one of the ones that came up.
Mm-hmm.
And almost every great lake or Loch Ness started, and then up in Ottawa, over there in Michigan, and then out here in Chestertown. I was driving across the bridge one time when I was, I don't know, middle school ish, early middle school.
Yeah.
And I could have swore I saw a hump out in the water.
You're right.
And then I'm like, that don't look like it belongs there.
Yeah.
Right then you look down, you can see both sides. It was, a giant hump ish. It was like a dome.
Yeah.
In the water, gray, greenish. And I was like, and you always hear about it. I was like, maybe that is what it is.
And of course you hear, I know we've had whales and sharks, and we've had things that have gone a little further up the bay than they should
be. Yeah.
But they managed to find their way up and hopefully managed to find their way back out.
Well, that's what's the thing about, the Chester River. It leads to the ocean.
Yeah.
And it leads to the bay, which leads to the ocean. So anything could come up and down through there.
I mean, that's growing up fishing as much as I did, and even now it's like you get surprised some of the stuff that you find when you're out and about in the waters around here.
Oh yeah. I mean, good grief, out in the bay you can, I wouldn't say easily pull up a 6-foot rockfish, but you can. We've
that's what's the park down? It starts with a T down that way. Taqua? Is it Taqua?
Taqua.
Oh man, Tuckahoe Park. The one with the Indian heads. If you go that way, you make a left. Anyway, it's not like our audience really knows.
So if you're heading towards like Molly's?
Yes.
No, that's not Tuckahoe. Tuckahoe's out by Ensign Queen Anne's.
Okay.
You're talking about Turner's Creek.
Turner's Creek. I knew it started with a T. That's as far as I got.
Turner's Creek.
Turner's Creek. I know you can still, if you look hard enough, you can find arrowheads.
Yeah.
They've had arrowheads all over the place. So I think that's from the Algonquin Indian tribe.
They have an old building on that they have a bathroom area that you can get, like public bathroom, and in this old building, it's creepy as hell.
Well, yeah,
it's been there forever.
Yeah,
and you go in there and kind of kept, but it's still the old building, and you're in there and you're like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Don't feel right.
Well, it's the way the land is you know how it all rises up.
Oh yeah.
It's a peninsula that's surrounded by water, and it's raised really high. So it was a good vantage point for them, a good place to be defending and doing anything they needed to.
Absolutely. And plus it's a great water source for, food and water and everything.
I do believe that land is charged because I've been there long enough to feel it. I really have.
Well, I mean, being, the kids being scouts and everything, we'd go there at least once a month.
Yeah.
Around, and you just know it's a little more amped up than normal.
Yeah.
Places.
Just energizes you. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's like a charge.
Yeah, I think it's just
oof.
Leftover.
You have to mind us, guys. We were drinking some holiday cheer.
Well, you are. I'm not.
Well, I am.
I'm going to take mine home, but
good old holiday cheer. That's all I can say.
Holiday cheer.
I'm looking forward to the future because I'm going to be doing live streams in the last couple episodes. I've been working on the camera. I got this action camera that I'm going to modify to basically have full spectrum and IR, which means we'll see everything. Yep, we'll see the whole spectrum. It'll be very purpley.
Yeah,
but it'll be nice. And I guess there's a couple of things I got to look out for. I'm looking for some good mics because this one can only do what we're doing now. So, excuse me.
They do have a EVP mic that's 360 degrees.
Yeah.
So instead of just using a regular tape recorder, which only does one way, and in a spirit box,
one
of those.
Yeah, spirit box, I'm definitely getting, and I'm either doing a reverse scan on it for my audience and AMF modulation. The biggest reason for that is I don't want to have voices come across that are just regular station voices. It's a good way of kind of debunking yourself,
right,
and make sure what you get is legit. Plus, I think it's a little easier on an AF, or it's not AF, AM station to make sure they're picking up stuff. Yeah, can't help me. No, nobody can. So the only other thing I can really think about is when we're talking about the urban legends, the bridges I thought were very interesting. The fact that we have so many locations that are bridges with urban legends, including water. I think that is probably deterrence, don't you think?
Water is something that is an insulator.
Yeah,
it can hold.
Well, yeah. It keeps
that energy.
Well,
like Kitty Night House is on the water. Bridges over water.
If you thought of an urban legend right now, would there be one that would stand out, and it doesn't matter if it's local or not, that you could say was probably could be real now because of all the energy that's been dumped into it from being passed as an urban legend? I mean, we all know Bloody Mary. I know you talked about that last episode.
I did. Yeah, Candyman.
Candyman. I could see those just because they're recurring so much. The Crybaby Bridge, I think, could be, because I'm starting to see that one everywhere.
Yeah, but like I said before, I heard the story was in Rock Hall.
Yeah.
So there's
I heard it's in Millington.
Right, and then there's another one. And I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Really, because there's so many, and everything, if you look hard enough, everything's haunted, apparently.
Well, yeah. Might be some truth behind that, guys.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, between all the bloodied wars that happened, Civil War passed right through here, all the way up, and up and down the coastline, and mid out west, and, Gettysburg is just supercharged.
Okay, yeah, you think about, God, all thousands and thousands of Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we've had experiences in Gettysburg.
I've had experiences in Gettysburg, and that's when I was a kid.
No, me and the wife went up there for one of our anniversaries. And
okay.
We went through one of the buildings that's a store now. You know how Gettysburg is.
Yeah.
Well, everything's haunted. Go on haunted tours. Blah, blah, blah. Well, we went into one of them. We're just looking around. Something's touching our hair.
Oh, nice.
Something touched my face.
I've had that on Kenana, by the way.
Somebody touched you inappropriately?
Something touched the waitresses inappropriately.
Oh.
It was specifically geared to women. I don't want to say the place because it's not right to me. We'll just say it's a restaurant. It's old.
Right.
On Kenana. Known for a ghost that would literally touch women
inappropriately.
Yeah.
Wow.
Would brush their hair, touch their butt.
That's a little specific.
It's specifically what it did.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Just women
Yes.
Just harassment.
Yeah. Which tells you intelligent.
Right.
Yeah.
And also a recurring
Mm-hmm.
manifestation of its old self, of mannerisms.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know?
it's funny because you brought that up and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember being a part of all of that, seeing it happen and them come, the waitresses would come in and talk to us, especially when you had new waitresses who weren't used to it, and it would be shocking and surprising, or they would look around and see somebody did it.
Well, that's bad as a new waitress, not having one of the old waitresses give you a heads up. That's just mean. That's one of those ones where they're watching through the little porthole.
Well, I've been on enough job sites where guys go like, "Oh yeah, this place is haunted," and you go, "Oh yeah, okay," and then stuff happens to you, and you're like, "Okay, wait a minute."
okay, all right, I believe you now.
And you have to back it, and you've had enough experiences in that too. And I'm trying to think of another one that I had. God, it was. Man, because I remember the waitresses, they used to get grabbed, especially when people, that's what it was. It wasn't just the waitresses. When they had people who would sit down in chairs, women sit down in the chairs, the apparition would grab their butts as they sat down. That was what I remembered specifically.
Well, that's why, originally, because we talked about Kitty Nighthouse, and I know we want to save Kitty for a friend of ours, but when the original owners had it, there was one chair nobody sat in.
Because it was for Miss Knight.
It was for somebody.
Oh, I gotcha.
But
yeah,
only for in the restaurant area, that chair would move, the stuff on the table in its area would move, and nobody would sit there.
Nice.
It was reserved for
the whoever
that entity was.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because they found out if they started seating people in there, other shit would happen throughout the restaurant. Like, somebody's at my seat.
Yeah.
And I got,
I had a friend talk to me, and I don't know why I'm not mentioning it to now. She told me a long while ago. Her and her mother were at a house which you consider a plantation by all means, as far as how old it is.
Plantation is just another fancy word for farm.
Yeah, it's farm. And she told me I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. Basically, they had like dishes getting thrown at them, which is a lot of negatively charged energy there.
Oh yeah.
And something happened.
There's a difference between something moving and dropping.
Yeah.
And something being thrown at you.
Yeah. Another big one that they had happen is she had her kid with her, the person that this happened to, where something happened where it would have crushed him in his crib, but I guess she saw it quick enough and was able to grab him and pull it out. And I think it was like a shelf or something came down with stuff on it.
Good God.
Oh yeah, and it was the same place.
Trying to get out.
Yeah,
get out.
That was, and she may have to correct me on some of it, but she's a good friend, and she hit me up when we first started doing Paranormal Synergy, and she was giving me some stories. And
those are telltale signs that you need to get out.
Yeah. But I believe her to be very sensitive too,
or have somebody come in and help you cleanse or something.
Yeah,
because.
Well, the good news is she didn't live there. They were staying there for a brief time, taking care of the property or whatever.
Okay. So
they're not there anymore.
Kind of like caretakers or something like that.
No, they're not there anymore. It's safe. Things are good. What are we doing there, Mr. Candle? Oh, you're getting very high. Candle's going crazy, folks. It's all good. Things are safe. Let's make sure we're not catching on fire.
Well, don't catch me on fire. I've got enough problems.
So I do my goal, and I want to say my goal for my next episode is to go live. That's my goal.
Goals are good.
Yeah. If it doesn't happen, you guys will get another podcast. And you'll still get podcasts no matter what. But my goal is to do an investigation live by either next week or the following, no later.
Or at least earlier this coming year.
Yeah. I want to start the new year that way.
And
I think it's a good goal.
That is a good goal.
All right, guys. That's the end of this episode. I hope you have a wonderful night.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
See ya.